Ready when you are, Bjorn, I think. A bit early, I suppose. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready. Yeah, sorry. Second down a row. All right. Yeah, cool. Welcome to Quiz Kiwomya. We're on a little bit earlier today. It's 2:30 where I am in Stockholm. So hopefully you can join. Hopefully you're hiding behind your laptop at work, or maybe you've sneaked off into the bathrooms so you can play along. This is going to be another 5 minutes of me talking rubbish, just filling time as best I can, so that people who are receiving the push notifications now as we speak have the chance to open up the app, run to the bathrooms, pretend they've got a problem, so they can jump on and play along straight away and give themselves the best chance possible to win some great prizes. We've got some of those prizes in front of us here. We've been saying all week that the prize this week that I'll give away at the end of today's show is a computer game of your choice. We've got 4 here: NHL, Madden, FIFA and UFC. But it's literally anything that you fancy. Any PlayStation game, any Xbox game, whatever it may be. If you come out of this show at the top of the standings, at the top of the table, we're going to send you one of these games, or a game of your choice, whichever works for you guys. It's important to remember, Railroad End, sing man sing, Sean, give us what we want. Jesus, you've really gone for it, haven't you? Maybe. Let's see how we go. I've got one of the important things to remember is that if you want to play along, you need to do so on the FanTV app. I've got it in my hand just here. If you want to give yourself a chance to win, if you want to take home one of these computer games come the end of the show, then you need to download the FanTV app, and that's where you need to put in your answers. That's where you need to play along. If you do it on Facebook, if you do it on YouTube, unfortunately, we're not going to pay any attention. There's one caveat, and we're really sorry for that. The FanTV app is not yet available on Android, so this is exclusively for iOS users only to start off with. I can tell you that the Android app is en route. I'm holding it in my hand, so you can see it there. It's an actual thing. I've not been making it up, and very shortly, perhaps as early as next week, early next week, you Android users will be able to get your hands on this, and you'll be able to play along as the iOS guys have been already. It's really important. It's the only place that we're going to pay any attention, and this week's just a bit of an advantage for the iOS users. You've got less people to play against, and yeah, more chance to take home prizes. Railroad End, sing us a song. So I don't know what. I mean, I've made it clear this week that Railroad End is the boss here at FanTV, and he's got some sort of fascination with trying to embarrass me and trying to get me to sing along. He might be thinking that he's helping me, but I certainly don't see it that way. He might be thinking that he's helping me to fill time. But yeah, I just don't think that's true. I'm trying to think of a particularly good song. I did Glory, Glory last time. Marching on together. We want to see you win. Da, 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 da. We are so proud. We shout it out loud. We love you. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. That's all you're having for today, anyway, for this week. Up until this point, Oslan Theo has by far been the best player. He sits at the top of the standings there with 24 points, twice as many points as Bremerton. And a quick mention for Bremerton. Yesterday, we introduced a new rule whereby if you are one of the first people to, if you are the first person to guess correctly, we give you an additional 3 bonus points on the big question at the end of the show. Bremerton went in early. He went for it. He showed he had some balls. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. And he missed his opportunity to take home points at the end of yesterday's show. Austin and Theo, perhaps safe in the knowledge that he had accrued some points already. He was already sitting at the top of the table. Bided his time. He waited. He waited for a few more clues to trickle in so that he'd have a chance to be more confident in taking home some points, which all add up and are all obviously really, really important. So up until now, we've been giving you a warm-up question, which has only been for fun. It's only been to try and buy myself some time so more of you can log on and tune in and take part. But for this time round, we're just going to jump in at the deep end. We're going to ask you 2 questions. Both of these questions are multiple choice, so don't answer too quickly. The question will come up first, followed by the 4 possible answers. So don't jump in too quick. Once you've seen those multiple choice answers, just write "my final answer is," followed by A, B, C, or D. If you get those correctly, we'll give the first person to have answered correctly 5 points. They're your 5 points. You can add those to your total. And that's 10 points in itself, just before we get to the big question at the end. So there's plenty of opportunity for the guys that are lurking below Oscar and Theo to perhaps take home lots of points and grab themselves one of these games that we'll be giving away at the end of today's show. So, question number 1, for 5 points. In which country would you find the world's biggest football stadium? In which country would you find the world's biggest football stadium? Here are your 4 choices: Brazil, Spain, Mexico, or North Korea. One of those choices is the correct answer that you want to go for, and just like that, you'll add 5 points to your total. They'll all contribute to your score on the standings. So, in which country would you find the world's biggest football stadium? A, Brazil, B, Spain, C, Mexico, or D, North Korea? There's an interesting little stat about this, just to give you guys a chance to answer. The biggest stadium in the world is a football stadium, is a soccer stadium, but the next 10 biggest stadiums in the world all come from a single league, a single division. I'd like to have asked you that question, but this is supposed to be a football quiz show. It's not a football league, it's not a soccer league. It is another sport in which there is a single division and all 10 of the next biggest stadiums in the world come from that one league. It's bonkers to me. The answer is really, really crazy. You might be thinking cricket. There's some big cricket stadiums, especially the MCG in Australia, Eden Gardens in India. You might be thinking NFL. You wouldn't be right. I'm trying to think what other big leagues there are, apart from the one that I know is obviously the correct answer. The correct answer is college football in the US. The next 10 after the one we're looking for is college football. So, I mean, it's bonkers. You can get that many people to come to a university match. It's just so foreign to us. So, first to answer, in which country would you find the world's biggest football stadium? We've had some answers in. Zagat has come back again. Thanks for joining us. C, Mexico. My final answer is C. Ant-Man went with my final answer is B. And Oscar and Theo, just rolling in it, has gone with my final answer, D, North Korea. So it says, expletive, it is D. Congrats, Theo. He's doing well, that man. He's doing really, really well. Also, Theo thought it was B, but did answer D because of your answer. Thanks, though. Bouncing off each other, using each other against using your answers against one another. So yeah, correct. North Korea is the correct answer. That's the biggest football stadium in the world. And last night I was talking about Wembley and I was talking about the Emirates. If you want to see a stadium that really looks like a spaceship has landed, you'll find it in North Korea. It's bonkers. It's a huge, huge place. Next one, for another 5 points. Who finished the 2014-15 Ligue 1 season as top scorer? For another 5 points, Just looking for the quickest answer once again. Here are your options. Some guy called Zlatan Ibrahimovic is A. Some guy called Edison Cavani is B. Some guy, oh, the old pronunciations coming back to hurt me. Alexandre Lacazette, now of Arsenal, of course, or Andre Ayew. Who finished the 2014-2015 Liga 1 season as top goal scorer? My final answer is C, says Zagat. It's a really tough one. Obviously, I do my research. I've got Google to help save me. But if I was being asked this question without any kind of knowledge, then yeah, I'd really struggle. It's a difficult one. Oscar and Theo, my final answer is B, Edison Cavani. Ant-Man, my final answer is C. Too late, if it is correct, because Zagat's got in there before you. Can I give you another few seconds to guess what this might be? Who finished the 2014-15 season as top goal scorer in France? A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is C. Zanet. Taking home the 5 points on that occasion. Really, really good work. 5 points apiece for the two of you. It looks like it's only the two of you that have managed to get away from work or have snuck off to the bathroom by the looks of things. It's a head-to-head race. So onto the main question, the big question with lots of points to play for. As usual, really running through these, especially if it's just you two guys on at the moment. One personality or team per show. 5 clues, 1 guess. It's a personality I'm looking for today. It's a footballer. I'm going to give you 5 clues and you can have 1 guess. You can chat as much as you like. You can talk amongst yourselves in the app, but you only get 1 guess per show. That guess has to take place on the FanTV app, and each guess must be written as my final answer is. If you don't do that, we're not going to pay attention. We're going to ignore it. It's the only way in which you can win points is if you use my final answer is in the FanTV Live app. And then the new rule that we added just yesterday, the first person to answer correctly will win 3 bonus points. So on offer, there's 13 points to play for here. As you can see in the bottom corner of your screen down here, you get 10 points if you get it on clue 1, and we'll add 3 points if you're the first person to guess correctly. In total, 3 people will be allocated points on this question, looking for this personality. But only 1 person will take home 3 bonus points. So, clue number 1. The person we're looking for, football, messed it up again, every day. Played for 11 British clubs, including Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, and Fulham. 11 British clubs. A real nomad. A bit of a clue that you might not consider him a nomad. You might really associate him to one football club in particular. But in total, he played for 11 British clubs. He seriously got around. Now, with the standings in mind, with Oscar and Theo so far ahead at the top of the table, it's worth considering that anyone who might want to overtake him will need to get their answers in early. They might need to take a stab at this to take home those 3 extra points and certainly guess on one of the first couple of clues. I'll push on to the next one. Philip Alt, are there options? No, there's not any options on this occasion. Sorry, that was a test run, producer Bjorn. I'll be ready for the football next time. No, there are no options. So you just get these clues and you've got to guess as quickly as you can. This first person to guess will take home 3 additional points. Depending on the clue on which you guess on, that's the number of points that you'll get, plus the 3 if you are the first person to guess. So, clue number 2. I'm ready, Bjorn. Give me the ball. Nailed it. The person we're looking for won all possible honours in the English game. All possible honours. So if you put those two together, he played for 11 British clubs, including Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle and Fulham, and won all possible honours in the English game. I can add another little bit of a clue here. The majority of those honours came in the 90s. I think there was one that came in the noughties. Always been a fan of saying the noughties. But it's predominantly, though, he won his trophies in the 90s. Played for 11 British clubs, including Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle and Fulham, and won all possible honours in the English game. Predominantly in the 90s, and I'll add another club at the top here. Another club is Blackburn. Any ideas? I can guarantee there's only one person that's played for all of those clubs and won all possible honours in the English game. Won the FA Cup, won the League Cup, won the Premier League, won the Community Shield or the Charity Shield, whichever way you want to go. Going to move on to the next clue soon. 3, 2, 1. Waiting for the ball. Messed it up again. Scored 5 goals in a 9-0 Premier League win. There's not been many 9-0 Premier League wins over the years. Putting that with the other ones. I told you that he played for 11 British clubs, but you'd certainly associate him with one club in particular. Aside from that, he was a bit nomadic. He travelled around the country, he played for lots of different teams, including Arsenal, City, Newcastle and Fulham. And I've already added Blackburn to that list. He won all possible honours in the English game, predominantly in the 90s. And he scored 5 goals in a 9-0 Premier League win. No guesses coming in. I'm going to check the Android just for the fun of it. It's really beautiful, the Android version. I'm really excited for you guys at home to get your hands on this. Of course, all the FanTV shows are available on the FanTV Live app. It's the best way to chat. It's the best way to interact. It's where you'll find the polls. Couple of answers coming in. The poll this week, incidentally, was which is more important, domestic football? Which trophy is more important to your team, the domestic trophy, the domestic title, or the Champions League? And the majority of people have actually gone for domestic, which has really surprised me. Hey-ho. Moving on. Sorry, Bjorn, give me the ball. He loathed former Manchester United and England teammate Teddy Sheringham. Loathed him. Pretty strong word. Pretty strong word. It's got to be easy now. Played for 11 British clubs, including Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, Fulham. I told you Blackburn earlier on. And now you can add Man United to that list as well, who, as I mentioned, you would predominantly associate him with. If anyone asked you, you'd say, yeah, he was a Man United player. But aside from that, he really did the rounds. Played for a lot of clubs around the UK, 11 in total. He won all possible honours in the English game. Scored 5 goals in a 9-0 Premier League win. The team on the other end of that thrashing was Ipswich Town. who our show's named after, Quiz Kiwomya, named after Chris Kiwomya, Ipswich Town legend. He wouldn't have been playing on that day, I don't think. I think he was around a bit earlier than that. But Man United beat them 9-0 on that day, and the guy we're looking for scored 5 of those goals. Philip Out says, Champions League is way bigger, but I'm a Real Madrid fan. I don't think being a Real Madrid fan makes a difference. I guess you don't win as many. Perhaps that's what you mean. Perhaps it's La Liga just comes too easy to Champions League fans. So definitely some consensus. I mean, well, I can see the same chart as you guys at home, but I'm gonna carry on with the formalities. For 1 point, the last clue, he partnered Dwight York up front for Man United. Amazing partnership, hugely productive. They actually went on to play again with each other at Blackburn years later. I say years later, I think it was actually the next club for both of them. They both moved from Man United to Blackburn. So there's all your clues. There's everything that we've given you so far today. Yesterday, there was lots of different answers coming, and we asked you to guess the correct club. The clue on that occasion, the first clue was it's the only club who have won their relative domestic title every decade bar the 90s. So every decade since they existed, Inter Milan won the title every decade except for the 90s, which is a pretty amazing feat. But the clues, as we brought out the clues, lots of people came up with different answers. It was a really interesting one, but on this occasion, you've all waited and you've more or less all gone for the same person. So to round things up, the correct answer is, messed up with the ball again, is Andy Cole. There he is in a Newcastle United shirt. I mean, they were good years when Andy Cole was at Newcastle. I mean, it was great to have Newcastle competing at the top of the Premier League back in those days. A club that size it's actually years later when Ginola was playing and Les Ferdinand, Philippe Albert at the back, Keith Gillespie down the right, Will Barton down the middle. It was a really, really good, fun team to watch. It was a fun time to be a Premier League football fan. Here we have the results coming in. So these are to be clarified. These are unverified as it stands. We'll verify them shortly after the show. But the first question of today was, in which country would you find the biggest football stadium in the world? Osler and Theo went with D, North Korea. He was correct. 5 points for the man that's already at the top of the table. Zanganet went for C when we asked the second question, which I can't remember now. It was, let me go back. I don't remember. My mind's gone blank. But Zanganet went with C and took home 5 points for himself. And then this big question, the final one, looking for Andy Cole. Zanganet again was the quickest on the draw. Took home 5 points because he got it on clue number 3. But also, given he was the first to guess, takes home an additional 3 points. Let's go back through here. Second to guess Andy Cole was Jonas Philip. He takes 5 points again, except he doesn't take the 3 bonus points because he wasn't the first to guess. And then Osler and Theo took 3 points, guessing on clue number 4. And again, probably, I'm not sure, these are still to be checked, cemented his position at the top of the standings, and in which case he will win one of these games. One of these PlayStation games I have in my hand. If you've got an Xbox, that's fine. We'll sell you an Xbox game too. We'll be in touch via the email that you use to register for the FanTV Live app. We'll try and do that later this afternoon. Thanks for watching this week, guys. Thank you for playing along. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was a bit of a test week. See how it works, see how many viewers we got, see how many people downloaded the app and took part. We'll evolve the format, we'll change it, we'll work with things. If it makes sense, if you enjoy it, we'll keep going, we'll keep playing, we'll keep adding prizes with the computer consoles we've got lined up. There's a bit of fashion, we've got some watches and things to give away. We'll keep working at things and trying to improve things. But until then, thanks for watching. The Android app will hopefully be coming again next week, so that'll give you other guys that are watching on Facebook and YouTube but only have an Android to download and play along and take part. So until then, until we're live again, thanks for watching and see you next time.